Discussions in this show should not be construed as specific recommendations or investment advice. Always consult with your investment professional before making important investment decisions. And now, Financial Renaissance with the M's. SSNATL.com is a Radio 2 Atlanta station, which provides a daily mix of awesome hits with smart talk. For the smarter listener, your choice just became clear. SSNATL.com. Radio that's not dumbed down.
Good morning, and we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. We have a great show today. Listen, we have a very important topic that we're going to be talking about, human trafficking, exploitation, homelessness. And because the topic is so serious, if you want to drop comments and have questions, we have professionals in the room right now that can answer those questions. You can go to Sensation Station Network on Facebook. You can drop your questions in there, or you can text us live here in the studio at 678-613-5857. For my Spanish people, 678-613-5857. Llámame. Give us a call. Let us know what you want to talk about. All right, so we have two beautiful guests in the studio this morning. We have Crystal Crawley, right? The Senior Diversity Program Manager at Randstad, source right. And then we have Jennifer Dial. Jennifer, what do you do?
So I'm the team lead for the Higher Hope program.
Right. And they're here to share with us about Higher Hope. And I mentioned earlier that there are some corporations out there that are doing good. And Randstad is a staffing service?
That's
a staffing
correct.
Agency, staffing company?
We are the number one global staffing
The number one
company
global
in the world.
Well, good. Just to make you feel better, we have people from all over the world watching us.
That's great. That's awesome.
You're welcome. So listen, why don't we talk a little bit about just the problem of human trafficking? Can you define for our viewers and our listeners what exactly is human trafficking?
Sure. So human trafficking is essentially what they're calling it now is modern slavery. So we all know the basic principles of what were behind slavery,
money.
And it hasn't changed.
Right. It's always about money.
It's still a form of bondage.
Right.
But now, up to date, 2020, 2019, we're focusing on specific areas. So it's more about the human trafficking under sexual exploitation. So that can cover adult sex trafficking, child sex trafficking. It includes domestic servitude as a form of human trafficking.
Yes. And so the reason why this topic is so important, I know a lot of business owners watch the show. And so sometimes unwittingly, the products and services that you're selling on the internet can be used for these purposes. Sometimes it's the clothing or the jewelry or, whatever it is that you're selling, it could be contributing to this horrific problem that we have in our country. We're here in Atlanta, and this is a global problem. This is a United States problem, but here in the city of Atlanta, it's a little unique, right? And Atlanta has been described as a major hub for human trafficking. Would either of you like to tell our viewers why?
It's due to the transportation access. So we have the Hartsfield International Airport. We have the I-95 corridor that goes from Florida all the way up to Canada.
Okay.
And there's another situation where we're surrounded by 3 states that are also in the top 10 to 20 of trafficking areas.
Yeah, one of the things that happens in Atlanta, and Atlanta's a great city. I mean, it's almost like we've got this underbelly of Gotham, this sliminess that goes on, but we have a lot of conventions here.
Absolutely.
We have a lot of conventions, and we have a lot of major sporting events that happens here. NCAA final this and the SEC that, and the college sports and the Super Bowls and all these different things. Not a World Series, but a lot of these different events and stuff that come here. And with that comes the trafficking. And one of the things that I've noticed in hotels that I go to now, there are signs in the restroom. We went to Mexico about a month ago. There were signs all over their airport. So we're starting to see signs, and I forgot what we were watching one day, and they were saying to watch the women. Just watch women and their reactions with men when they're together. Like, what is it? And you're supposed to ask, are you okay? There's something you're supposed to, and I know Sean Smash Jet, she actually goes out and She goes to strip clubs and she goes and walks the streets and tries to bring people in. So she's probably upset with me right now, but I know there's something that you're supposed to ask people to see if they're okay. So what else can you tell us about the program, Higher Hope?
Yes, Higher Hope.
Higher Hope. Can you tell us about the program, how it got started, and just how did Randstad just get involved with this?
Okay. So yeah, it's one of our corporate social responsibility programs, and it was developed approximately about 5 years ago, and initially started for children who were aging out of who are graduated from high school.
Okay.
So then we kind of decided, okay, we needed to do something more impactful. So how can we impact our community and provide, services or opportunities for our employees to also engage? So they created the Higher Hope program. The program is a program that is for women who are ages 18 to 40.
Okay.
And essentially it's a career readiness program that provides apprenticeships, job placement opportunities, as well as on-the-job training.
I like it. So it gives, from what I've been reading, so it gives 35 weeks of career readiness training.
35
And
weeks.
I don't know any other program, and there may be others, right? But when I met you,
Right.
I found out about it, and I was thinking, why don't more people know about this? Like, what a great way to give back and help people that have been victimized and that were forgotten about by our society. Let's see. What do you want to say? You're sitting over there real quiet.
I can share a little bit
Jennifer.
of my experience.
Okay.
So I actually started out as an apprentice back in April of 2017.
Okay.
So during the apprenticeship, I was able to gain amazing skills, really hone in on my leadership skills. Working with the Higher Hope leadership team really helped me to discover confidence in that area to where I'm able to have the tools that I need for the position that I have now, which again is the Higher Hope team lead, where I get to assist the women in all 3 phases.
Oh, so you're giving
Yes.
back. That is so
Yes,
nice.
It is
So-
truly rewarding.
So there's 3 phases. There's the restore, the grow, and the thrive, right? So there's the career readiness training, there's a paid apprenticeship, and then there's a job placement opportunity. And that's the part that really gets to me because one, your company is equipped to do that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're definitely
We are
equipped to
in
do
that
that. So
business.
it's just such a perfect blend of the thing. So let's talk about the first phase.
Okay.
All right, the restore phase. So what does that consist of?
Do you want to talk about that, Jennifer?
Yeah, sure. So that consists of the career readiness training. That's the area that we really focus on, team building, confidence, healthy relationships. They start setting goals and have a vision board.
Okay, nice. And so is that a 10-week?
That is the 12-week
12-week,
portion.
okay.
Yeah, that is the unpaid portion.
Okay.
We only ask that they commit to a Thursday and Friday. So Thursday is an all-day event in the Alpharetta office. Friday's at our Cumberland location. That's only half of a day.
Now, is the program open to anybody?
Any woman that's
Any woman that between
the
ages of 18 and 40?
who's looking, to really reintegrate into the workforce.
Yes.
So we are targeting kids aging out of foster care now, some high school students who may not want to go the direction of college
Okay.
or the services. So we're looking to make sure that we're able to impact our community by anyone who needs the assistance.
Okay. When we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's, we're going to talk about the other phases of this great program. And again, any questions that you have, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. See you in 300 seconds.
This is big business. This is the American way.
Station Network.
See ya.
And we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. We are live on Sensation Station Network, ssnatl.com. Again, we have a very serious subject, but it's a very touching. Listen, anytime there's a problem, there's always problems, right? But the flip side of a problem is a solution. And what we're talking about this morning are solutions to the human trafficking issue. And it's the holiday season. So for you entrepreneurs out there, for you business owners that are figuring out ways of giving back, it's not always monetary. Sometimes it's by helping to empower people who were victims of exploitation, homelessness, human trafficking, etc. So that's the best way to give back is to reach out to Randstad and let them know that, hey, we want to hire. If you've got some people that you've trained up that are ready to be reintegrated or integrated into the workforce and, they want to make an honest living the way they want to do it, be in control of their own lives, then go ahead. You can reach out to Crystal and she'll tell you how to do that. So listen, we have Crystal Crawley.
Crawley.
Crowley. I've watched a lot of Downton Abbey.
Oh, I love
So it's
Downton
like
Abbey.
Crawleys.
Yes.
But it's Crowley. And we also have Jennifer Dial.
Yeah.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
So we are talking about Randstad and how they have a program by the name of Higher Hope. And Higher Hope is a program that takes women from the ages of 18 to 40 and gets them through training and apprenticeship, paid apprenticeship,
Yes.
and then gets them into the workforce. So it's a 35-week of career readiness training, paid apprenticeship, and then job placement opportunities. Before the break, we talked about the first phase of the training, which is Restore, and that's 12 weeks of unpaid leave, just 2 days a week, Thursdays, all day Thursday and Friday, right? But then from there, we go to the grow phase. And who wants to tell us about the grow phase?
I'll talk a little bit about
All
the
right.
growth phase. So the growth phase is really the apprenticeship. So this is where we provide that hands-on training into being a person or individual having the ability to work in an office space, doing a lot of admin work, also employment specialist, which is more like a recruiting coordinator or a recruiter. So these women are actually contacting candidates for clients that we actually work and provide support for, and helping them, going through the interview process to make sure that they're a viable fit for a candidate, so they're able to pass that information along.
I love it. So what do you think about the grow program or the growth?
The growth phase
yeah.
is amazing. So that's what really helped me during my time as an apprentice. And now I get to spend my time giving back to the women and actually being dedicated and involved with that hands-on training.
Nice. And then you also, there's a shuttle service
Yes.
as
Absolutely.
well to get people. So if you're in the city of Atlanta, now is the program just in Atlanta or is it all over the country?
It's just in Atlanta.
Just
right
in
now.
Atlanta.
It's just in
Pilot.
Atlanta. Yes.
Pilot phase. So this is going to take off. Okay, this has to take off. Like, this is too good to be true. So then after the grow phase, we go to thrive.
Yes.
All right, and what is the thrive phase?
So Thrive is once they've completed the phases, they've graduated, they've had an opportunity to complete an executive presentation, and then we find placement opportunities either internally with Randstad or with some of our corporate partners.
Okay.
And this is just where they move into their next phase. They're ready to fly on their own, a little more independence, and so they're working off-site sometimes or under other leadership.
Okay.
But we still maintain that contact and support from our team. So I'll do weekly check-ins, monthly check-ins, and then it'll go to quarterly check-ins just to make sure that they understand that we're still there to be supportive of them as they complete their transition.
So I see that 90% of the graduates are awarded grow apprenticeships, right? So that's a high rate of success.
Yes, so with that, we measure that under each phase. So
Okay.
the restore phase, we have a lot of attrition during that time period because of the commitment.
Right.
And there's no pay at that time, so
Right.
that's one of the other issues. But if they're able to make it past that phase, then they're really successful in the growth phase because now they're committed. They're showing that, okay, this is a process that really will work and help benefit me.
Yeah, well, you're saying a lot of attrition, but 80% of the participants graduate from that phase and go to the next. So that's pretty high.
Yeah, it is.
That's pretty high. So, give yourself a pat on the back for that because that's a pretty high number. And then it looks like from the paid, the job placement opportunities portion, 95% of the apprenticeship graduates advance to the Thrive. And then how many people successfully leave Thrive and into the workforce?
So when they move into Thrive, that's when they move into the workforce.
Okay.
So that's that phase of that
Oh,
program.
and that's
so
95%.
95%, sometimes we have them working again on corporate accounts or also internal projects within Randstad Sourceright.
Okay, so now what can we do to help eradicate this epidemic of human trafficking?
I think knowledge is the key.
Okay.
Being knowledgeable about it, just like, knowing when you see something, say something sort of campaign, just making sure you understand, what that looks like. I actually am a part of an organization, AFRJ, which is Alliance for Freedom, Restoration, and Justice. And they are an organization that's working to eradicate this epidemic globally. What they do have is they have an opportunity for people to earn a Justice U badge, which is essentially just a 30 to 45-minute course to educate you about what human trafficking is, what to do when you see it, hotlines.
I want that badge.
I'm definitely going to share
Yeah,
it with
I want
you.
that badge. I
Absolutely.
need that badge. I'll take the class, but I'd love to say I have a badge.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, what businesses should engage in CSR? And what is CSR?
You said why businesses should engage in
Yeah,
CSR?
yeah.
It's our corporate social responsibility
Okay.
program.
All right. And so why should businesses engage in it?
It helps with the attraction of employees, retention of your current employees, and outside of that, it's the right thing to do. As you mentioned earlier, businesses have an opportunity. This is the perfect opportunity for them to be able to give back to the world,
Right.
and be able to help this epidemic. Previously, most of the organizations that have worked with this have been government agencies or nonprofit organizations, and it's great. They're great. I love the support that they provide. But what happens when these women complete the programs?
Exactly.
They have nowhere to go.
So what would be your ask if you were going to ask anything, and both of you can answer. If you were going to ask anything from the community, we're in Atlanta right now, but we know this program is going to be nationwide or global, right? So what would be your ask of the communities?
Spread the word.
Spread the word?
Yes.
Spread the word and get involved. Yes.
Spread the word and get involved. Now, are there things that people should be looking for? Let's say you're in an airport or, I guess you don't really get granular on that level, but it's just easy to, I guess, just if we see something, say something, but then also give people your information? Like, how do we connect people with you?
Absolutely. So we do have an email address that's corporate-wide that we can provide.
Okay. You want to give it? Yeah.
Sure.
You want to give
So
it to
it
us?
is C as in Charlie, M, G as in George, dash,
Oh, dash.
Higher Hope, which is HIREHOPE, at Randstad, USA.
USA. .USA?
Dot.
Or
No,
USA.com.
USA.com.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Now so the program now again is only in Atlanta. So how is it doing? Who are your corporate partners, if you want to mention any of them? Because I know you're not doing this. Randstad isn't doing this all on their own.
Right. So that's another thing that like you said, what can businesses
Yes.
do? So we're looking for more corporate partnerships because we can't do it all alone.
Okay.
So one of our major sponsors, and I'm hoping I can say this, is Kaiser Permanente. So they've agreed, we have a great relationship with them
Okay.
and helping to provide opportunities for the women.
Yeah, I think, corporate America gets and rightfully so, they kind of get a bad rap. But there's something I've kind of coined the term clean capitalism and dirty capitalism. And what Randstad is doing is what I would consider clean capitalism from the standpoint of just making sure that the community, it's fine to make profits. There's nothing wrong with earning money. There's nothing wrong with being profitable. However, when it's on the backs of other people or you ignore the plight of other people, there's something wrong with that. As a whole, as a country, as a whole, we need to be able to pull together and help each other out. And what you're doing is going to strengthen our nation because you're giving us much needed work. We need workers. What type of training are you doing? Any trainings on some of the jobs that are going to be needed, say, in the 21st century? So, like, a lot of administrative jobs may be disappearing, because of artificial intelligence. So what are you doing to make sure that these men and women who are graduating from the program, that they're able to hopefully remain gainfully employed into the future?
So we do offer opportunities for training. So we have an internal IT department that's helping the women learn about coding. So we're starting that pilot program in January.
Okay.
So to give them those skills that we know that's going to be another big area of focus in terms of employment in the future. And we also give them the opportunity to provide training on things that they're looking for. So I have one person who's actually studying her Six Sigma training.
Wow. What about anybody getting into nursing?
So we don't have any so we recruit for nursing, but we
Okay.
don't actually have like the training to be able to provide for nursing opportunities.
Okay, yeah, I
But
would like to see that happen because I know that's
Yeah.
another one of the industries where they're hurting for. They need more nurses,
That's
right?
surprising.
It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work. So I understand. I understand the why, and you got to deal with blood and guts and fecal matter, stuff like that. So sorry. It's Sunday. But what else would you like to tell us about the program?
The program, I think, is the best program that's out there. It's a free resource. So all we're looking for is your dedication and commitment so that we can live, like you said, walk the talk based upon our company. So it's built up on one of our principles, one of our 5 core values, which is simultaneous promotion of all interests. And it simply means that we see the bigger picture and we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can do to support our communities.
So yeah, I love the way you tie that back in with the values, because a lot of times there's that we've got our mission statement, but we do everything against it, right? And listen, when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's, we'll tell you how to get in touch with Higher Hope. If you know someone that can benefit from the program, I'll give you all the information when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's.
We tell you just like your mama tell you. Be humble when you need to, but don't take no. Time to smarten up and listen now to radio that's not dumbed down.
And we are back on Financial Renaissance with the M's. There's always a lot going on this show. Listen, Financial Renaissance is a show where I take what's happening in Washington, on Wall Street, and then I break it down for what's happening for the people on Main Street. Now, sometimes I do an excellent job of that. Sometimes I don't do an excellent job of it. So if at any given time I am giving information and you're not sure how it relates to you, just say, hey, I do, blah, blah, blah for a living. What does this mean to me? And I'll tell you, my brain is all over the place, so I don't always think of everybody, but that is my goal, is to make sure that everybody understands how the information I'm presenting is going to benefit you. Now, Financial Renaissance airs live on Sundays from 10 to 12 on Sensation Station Network. You can also follow me, Emma Folks, Certified Financial Planner, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I have a YouTube page too. And I also have a website, emmaknowsmoney.com, that you can go to. And, there's, I don't know what's on there, but yeah, you can go there and check it out. But we are in the studio with two people from Randstad Higher Hope program. We have Crystal Crawley and Jennifer Dial.
Dial,
All
yes.
right, Jennifer Dial. And I want to thank you both for one, coming in, sharing this wonderful program that the whole world needs to know about. And then you also for just being brave enough to show up today and just give us your experience, firsthand experience with the program, et cetera. What would you like to tell people? Well, what would you like to tell people about the program, if there's anything that you haven't covered that you would want people to know about the program? Like if there's someone that just kind of got out of a situation and they're not sure of what to do and they don't trust anyone, right? They don't believe they've been tricked and et cetera. What would you say to that person that's trying to decide whether or not to pick up the phone and call?
I would remind them that their past does not define them, that all they need to do is take one step forward, and we'll help them the rest of the way.
That's awesome. I
That
love
is,
that.
that is, and no judgment.
None.
No judgment. Doesn't matter what happened. We all have past, but the past is not indicative of what your future is going to look like.
That's absolutely correct.
And what do you want to say?
Well, I would like to say thank you again for giving us this platform. And also, if any individuals out there, or if you yourself fit the criteria and would love to be a part of the program, as well as corporate partners. So if you're a corporate partner listening today and you are looking for an opportunity to engage, as Emma said, to maybe hire an apprentice or bring someone on to help them impact their lives, I'd love to give you the email addresses
Please,
for both
yes,
of those.
please give everything.
Okay, so the first email address, again, is for the connection, either if you're a participant or a corporate partner, and that will be cmg-hirehope@randstadusa.com. And the second thing I'd like to leave you with is the information about becoming or receiving your Justice U badge. And again, this badge gives you knowledge, understanding of what human trafficking is, and it's an opportunity for you to also be able to impact your community, even if it's not through any of the other avenues that we have, but definitely when you're at the airport or when you're traveling or to some of these events. And that email address is justiceu.engagetogether.com.
And I think, I love that. And I think everyone should just make a commitment, as we're going into 2020, 2019 was crazy, with a lot of the political stuff, a lot of the global stuff going on. We as a people are better than what we're seeing on the news. And I feel like the issues that we're fighting each other against are so they're so passé. Like, why are we talking about this stupid stuff like race and religion and I don't like you because you don't look like me? What are we gonna do when the aliens come down? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they don't look like us either. Matter of fact, their heads are shaped funny. So we need to figure out ways of coming together. And the program that you have is a way of helping pull us all together because, you know, we're born into this world. We were born on the right side of the border. As I like to say a lot of times, we had the benefit of we don't choose what country we want to be born in, and we don't get to choose the circumstances that we're born in. We're dealt a hand, and we just have to deal with it. And what you're doing is helping people take charge and take back control of the hand that they were dealt and changing that around. So, you know, kudos to you, and you just earned some wings.
Thank you.
You just earned some wings as well. Hey, when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's, I'm going to give you some by the numbers. We'll talk about millennials and home buying. It's going to surprise you when we come back in 300 seconds.
Cash, scratch, greed. Benjamins, assets.